a list of Upanishads. We have a small Upanishad with a significant story. Called Upanishad. The name of the Upanishad is the first word of the Upanishad. There is no other significance. Every Upanishad is a dialogue. It is a dialogue between a disciple, a mumukshu, a jignasu, the one who wants to know, and obviously a teacher. Therefore, it is samvada between a teacher and a student who wants to know. Because there is the subject matter is about yourself, is yourself. About yourself, you know most of it. What is yourself? That's always it's always a matter for doubt. There's a confusion. In short, we can say you are a karta, a doer, bhokta, karmapala, bhokta. Basically a karmapala bhokta and karta. Karta, I am the doer. I did before, I have been doing, and I will continue to do. Even if I am incapacitated to do, I'll be doing, at least murmuring. I can't do anything, I can't get up. Murmuring. And therefore, I am a doer and also the enjoyer of the fruits of action. Even if I don't do and create karma phalam, old karma phalam, I am enjoying. The pain also is karma phalam. Enjoyer means the one who goes through the experience of karma phala. And therefore, basically a bhokta, the experiencer of karma phalam, and karta, the doer. This person, because of some karma phala, good karma phala, it discovers in himself or self ichha, a desire for a fundamental solution to the problem of self non-approval. So you can't live with yourself when you don't approve yourself. You can't live because you are self-judging and you cannot live. Therefore, कुछ ना कुछ करना है. कुछ ना कुछ करके 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 टायर्ड हो गया. And because some satsang, directly or indirectly, one has done this satsang, satam sangaha. When you come to the Gurukulam, there is satsang. And there are Swamis in circuit. And therefore everybody has his own Swami, her own Swami. And they are in circuit. They may come here, but they have got their own Swamis. Who are from their village or from the same state or from the same town or through some money introduction is there, and therefore Swamis are in circuit. And either you invite them. So you have satsang. There are also satsang. As long as there is no gadabut, everything is okay. Everybody talks the same language. Everybody talks the same subject matter with certain degree of clarity. Certain degree of clarity. There will be no confusion. And then that's called satsang. Satam sangaha, direct satsang. Satpurushanam sangaha. There is another satsanga. You create a few people or join a group for this purpose. That is also satsang. Gita Vichar group. So that brings about the change in the person. That is also satsang. But there you are in touch with the Gita. Gita is, you are in touch with Vyasa. Vyasa's buddhi. That's all, it's always satsang. The buddhi of Vyasa, buddhi of the rishis, through the words of the Shruti or Smriti, the Gita, you get connected to the buddhi of the person who had conveyed through certain words. The subject matter. That is you, the self, who is to be discovered whether the person, the self, He is karta, he is bhokta. We already know karta is myself, bhokta is myself. And myself is karta, myself is bhokta. If B is A is also B. Bhokta is B. That bho, you know. So B. And karta. And Atma also. A also. Is B. If B is A is B. Need not be. That is the doubt. You yourself have had a doubt. That doubt is already there. Some vagueness is created by these paperbacks. The circuit Swamis. And so by this we get some kind of an idea. Maybe. And there are reasons for such a belief, such a doubt. And therefore inquiry in a group situation or alone, group situation is better. Because at the same time, not only you are in touch with the buddhi of Vyasa, through buddhi of Vyasa Krishna, and that is another Shruti. Shruti also is from Ishvara. The Gita also is from Ishvara. That is why it has the same status. Bhashyakara at one place surprises you. Bhashyakara means Shankara. At one place surprises you. Iti Ishvarasya Vachanam. This is the statement of Ishvara. You are surprised he doesn't mention Krishna or Gita. Gitayam is not said. Only Ishvarasya Vachanam. We have to think a minute, what is this? At least a few seconds. What is this Ishvarasya Vachanam? Na? The words also are not there. Then what will you do? You have to know the background. He assumes that you know. So, you are in touch with the buddhi of Vyasa, of Krishna, of Shruti in other words. So, it is indirect satsang. Or direct satsang. The buddhi, your buddhi, and whoever teaches his buddhi become one and the same. When there is such fusion, there is knowledge, there is understanding. For that fusion to take place, there is a means of communication. Through words, through looks. It's a means of communication. And then the two buddhis become one and the same. Then individuals disappear. When your free will disappears, individuals disappear. When your free will is there is an individual within the fold of Ishvara. Individual total. Within Ishvara. Like a tree within a forest. There is individual and there is total. Covering the individual. Ishvara is little more. The forest doesn't sustain the tree. Indirectly, maybe. Individual tree is not protected by the forest officials. If it's standing out away from the forest, in the periphery, it's gone. But if it is inside the forest, then the forest department will protect. So forest is protective in some way. But Jiveshwara is a different situation. Every part of Jiva is Samashti. Samashti is sustaining, non-separate from Samashti. And therefore, it's a different thing, what I say. This also is to be taught in the whole Shastra. In any understanding, even this is a paper cup. Your will doesn't play any role. What role does it play? It doesn't play. Suppose I say, you will understand this better. So, look at this flower. Generally I have flower. I don't find it here, that's why. Look at this flower. I think Swamiji is having jet lag. Leah. You are sympathetic. And tomorrow also I say the same thing. Then still you will be sympathetic. I think still jet lag is having a hangover. And then if I continue like this, something else I do. Kuch ho gaya. That's inevitable. That's because your will has no place. It made you sit here, that's it. Will has nothing to, no role to play in knowing. It's astounding. Your ahankara, your ego, your pride and all this have no role to play. They are all centered on I, will. But here, you are just the object, you are just yourself as a conscious being. Through a means of knowing connected to the object, knowledge takes place. When something is not available for your objectification, but at the same time it is just you, not totally unknown you. So all your notions about yourself stand suspended. They don't go away. Wrong notions. Notion means wrong only. They remain suspended. That's a blessing. That's given. They don't interfere in knowing. And so, unless somebody is damaged psychologically, that also is only a question of processing the damage. The cognitive skills sometimes get inhibited. If a person has no infrastructure of language, of reasoning, which you gather through education, language by language education, we all learnt English. And English non-phonetic, therefore Tamilian English, Bengali English, Gujarati confusion. So we have different, because we have learnt non-phonetic language. Englishman should not get angry. You will ask him to straighten this. L-O-W, low. C-O-W, cow. C-O-W, cow. How? It's a non-phonetic language. Therefore, we all learned our own way. And there is an American English, and there is our French English. I thought only Indians are like this. Then I got little encouraged listening to some French people talking English. And all T's are ta. Tat. Very interesting. And words don't come out at all. Where yes is not there, there is yes coming all the time. So anyway, every language that you learnt, that's your mother tongue or whatever, that really forms a structure. And through that, any new language is learnt. Every color kodru. It gives a color. Therefore, sometimes the language you don't have, or you are not used to the way the language is spoken. Therefore also communication suffers, understanding suffers. Except that you have the infrastructure, verbal communication may not be possible in describing a taste, in revealing love by words. But can reveal the truth. The only thing that can be revealed is truth by words. Shabdam hi jnanam. Because this knowledge is of a self-evident being. As we will see, partless being. So there is no question of seeing the tail and the rest of it is inferred. And so communication is complete. The teacher knows, teacher's buddhi, and the one who wants to know, that's why the one who wants to know, that has to be said all the time. Not casually sitting, there is no, because we don't know what to do Christmas time. So either jaake, okay, so we'll go and stay there and see what's happening there. Everybody tells, you should go to Gurukulam, you should go to Gurukulam. So dekhenge kya hai. So the dekhenge kya hai will result in knowledge sometimes. The casual. See, that buddhi also is like that. So the one who wants to know buddhi is different from coming there just to see what's happening. Casual. That's what I say, the pajama buddhi. And indifferent, very loose. You start with like that. And afterwards, slowly, now and then, you see, you hear something, people are laughing, and you also want to know what it is. So then decide the next joke I should not miss. Therefore, until the next joke you have to listen. Something may be heard and something may be understood. Then adequate enough to make you attend all the classes little more attentively. But this tuning is there. One buddhi is in harmony with the other buddhi. There is learning. And because of this kind of satsang alone, the vision changes. Direct and indirect satsang. When you understand it is direct. That's why there is a teacher who connects you to the Shruti, means through the Shruti Ishvara. Because the vision is different. So it is subject to questions. Subject matter is to be understood. So there can be questions. Again, for getting this conduit of communication clear of any vagueness, any kachada. And that's what samshaya nivritti. And so the Upanishad itself begins with a question. Kena ishitam sat manaha patati. Kena ishitam preshitam sat manaha patati. The mind lands on certain objects. By somebody inside. By whom it is driven to land upon an object. Preshitam sate, ishitam sate. A small difference is there. It starts with kena, question. That word itself is the name of the Upanishad. Understand? In Samaveda, you have Chandogya Upanishad. This is small Kena Upanishad. Chandogya, there are many dialogues, and most of them names are there. Most of the persons involved, Narada and Sanat Kumara. Uddalaka and Svetaketu. In these two. There are other chapters having more than 2 people. So names are all mentioned. Here names are not there, question is there. Enough. When question is there, there's a dialogue. Means the Upanishad, the subject matter of the Upanishad is presented in the form of a dialogue. Understand? Not only Upanishad. You take whole Mahabharata is a dialogue. Bhagavata is a dialogue. That's why it always begins with Vaishampayana Uvacha, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Always direct speech. Start with Uvacha. Uvacha means said. Sometimes asked, that is the meaning. Dhritarashtra Uvacha. In fact, Dhritarashtra asked. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha is answer to question. Dhritarashtra Uvacha is only question. Arjuna Uvacha is only question. He was not teaching Krishna. So you have to see the context and then give the meaning. So there is a dialogue within a dialogue within a dialogue within a dialogue. Who started? Yeah, that also you have to remember, like Panchatantra. You have to remember. Otherwise, you start something, some story, ask the audience, what did I say? And then convert it as though you are checking up with the audience. So, Ishavasya Upanishad, the first word. Ishavasyam, 2 words. Or Ishopanishad. Or Ishavasya Upanishad. Therefore, there is no big, you should not spend time on the title itself. Because the Shastra doesn't have any tatparya. It has no tatparya in the title. The tradition has it. Tradition calls it Isha Kena Kata Prashna. The tradition calls it later. It's only the Upanishad dialogue is there. This Kena Upanishad is a very small Upanishad. But the Vastu is is always the same. The subject matter is the same. Small canvas. It's a very direct, so direct. At the end of the section, unfolding this teaching, the student asks the question, makes a request, Bho Upanishadam Brohin. Please teach Upanishad. After listening to the Upanishad, like Ramayana, Panditji was asked by a fellow who was like Hanumanji, sitting there listening with great Shraddha. ये सप्ताह है 7 days रामायण लगातार, daily 3 hours. And this fellow will sit there in front before Ramayana begins. At the end of the Ramayana discourse, this fellow asked, everybody went away. Panditji was also collecting his things and he has to leave. Now he thought he had a good opportunity to ask a question. He asked him, एक प्रश्न पूछो? So can I ask you a question? He said, okay. He was very happy, in fact, because this Hanumanji like. And for everything he was nodding his head and approval and all that, aha. And therefore, this kind of people will always be there in every discourse. I don't attract such people. And he asked this question, Panditji, this saptah mein 3 shabda, 3 words I've been hearing again and again, repeatedly. One is Rama. The other is Ravana. The third one is Rakshasa. So these 3 words keep coming. Prashna ye hai. This is my doubt, question. Whether Rama is Rakshasa or Ravana is Rakshasa. I know Rama is the name of a person. Ravana is the name of a person. Rakshasa is an adjective, I think. So who is Rakshasa among the 2? Panditji said, because he had great admiration for this fellow. So this is a good slap on his face. And then he said, Rama is not Rakshasa. Ravana is not Rakshasa. I am Rakshasa. But the Upanishad teacher didn't say that. Upanishad teacher said, already Upanishad te ukta. He said already, Upanishad is already said to you. Then he told him a story. It tells us also how to communicate. Then it tells a story. And Upasana also. Through that story. And so we have a very direct and profound the teaching in this Upanishad. And Upanishad itself is very small. Then I am going to have the essence of the Upanishad. Therefore, here and there I will be covering. Can be elaborate. That's why essence I said. We'll start tomorrow morning. So from that. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.